replying. He said, "Do you want anything else, Your Honor?" I don't even think 2024 Peterbot and Poyo tried to claim this much space. Like, if you've landed at this drop spot, you will know that there was way too much loot here for one singular duo. But that wasn't even necessarily the main storyline from today. The main thing that we currently have is both Peterbot and Poyo in Sky and Scroll tweeting out the same drop spot for globals, and they do look like they are going to be contesting each other at Reality's Reign. Now, Reality's Reign has 30 chests, a mythic star, and air vents for rotation. I want to show a bunch of different clips of Peterbot actually talking about this off spawn situation, and then I'll give some of my own thoughts on it.
It's time to start the streams back up with the faces on the streams and shit, whoever cons and shit.
Assalamualaikum.
4 बजते ही सारे सिस्टम हैंग, दिमाग,
क्या?
मूड और ये दोस्त भी थोड़ा लैग कर रहा है। अभी बताती हूँ।
हाँ, ब्रेक मिल गई है 15 मिनट की।
Nescafe cold coffee. Welcome back, guys. आप कुछ कर ले?
नाश्ता देते। क्या मतलब?
Nescafe cold coffee की kick from Nestle.
From the moment you begin your journey, you become part of an environment that encourages you to question, explore, collaborate, and grow. Here, learning moves beyond lectures. Ideas are tested, creativity is encouraged, and knowledge is connected with real-world thinking.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have Sky in the top left, Scroll in the top right, and then I'm gonna have both the Middle East players in the bottom left and right. And then on top of that, I'm gonna make sure that I stream every tournament because Fortnite made the prize pool sticks and stones. And then on top of that, I'm just gonna make sure their perfect year is ruined, bro. That's what I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah, but they could leave though. If they leave, then you just can't stop it. You're not gonna just chase them around.
You gotta chase them.
Here's the thing about me, bro. I haven't tried in over a year, bud. I'm on Valorant all day. I don't care. We've been on a grief for season. Fuck the humble act, bro.
Saying much, bro. That guy is too good, bro.
Peterbot, who could have guessed?
Whoa.
It really does look like Peterbot has gotten a lot of his off-spawn confidence back after he ended up beating Vino in Ager's off-spawn. Because for a while there, it really was just Peter leaving drops every single season, but Peter now is saying that he's down to grief the drop spot. We have like toxic off-spawn Peterbot back, and it's also pretty cool to see that Sky and Scroll say that Peterbot and Poyo are their biggest rivals in Fortnite, and this was like before we even got the news of them potentially contesting each other. The storyline seems like it's just lining up perfectly. As of now, there looks like there might be a third team landing there though, so we'll talk about them in a little bit. But just staying on Sky and Scroll versus Peter and Poyo, this is so big for Sky and Scroll because Sky and Scroll, they have the opportunity to do something very rare in Fortnite, and that has become a potential better duo all time than Peterbot and Poyo. If Sky and Scroll are somehow able to win this global championships this year, they would have won both majors on EU, got 4th place at the Summit Land, and won the global championships. Like, that year has a real argument to be better than what Peterbot and Poyo did in 2024, and I know they definitely want to be able to accomplish that. So it's also just kind of crazy that Peterbot himself has the opportunity to ruin that for him. We haven't got to see Sky and Scroll in as many off spawn fights as we have obviously like a Peter and Poyo. I think the main things that we got to see them in was they beat Vidil off spawn 5-1 in one of the div cups, and then we got to see them get landed on by Chino in like the last game of Major 1. If you guys remember when Chino and Pablo were trying to play for first place in grand finals, they landed on Sky and Scroll, but Sky and Scroll took them out. And then the only other time I can remember these guys even fighting off spawn was, well, I guess a couple of the games in the most recent major, but also when they landed on OCE at Summitland and then ended up dying, leading them to finishing in 4th place. So for who I think is better off spawn, I would probably give the edge to Peter and Poyo right now. Poyo just in general is probably the best off spawn player in all of Fortnite, and we just haven't necessarily seen Sky and Scroll get challenged off spawn all that much at all. And it's so weird because I don't want to call Sky and Scroll like a nervous team because they have literally like 2 of the best solo, like Scroll might be the best solo clutcher in the entire game, and then Sky has crazy solo clutches as well, but they also have one of the like biggest blunder moments in the history of Fortnite, like what I was talking about with them landing on OCE in the last game. So I wonder how the nerves would be if they did have to fight Peter and Poyo off spawn every single game. Obviously the map is not like 100% set in stone yet. Teams could still switch the drops. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys did end up landing somewhere else, but I do want to show the rest of the drop map as well. So this is what 47 out of 50 teams looks like on the brand new drop map for globals, and technically it should be 48 because Kanata did announce that he's landing right here, so he basically just claimed like one of the last drop spots that's even open on this map. But a lot of teams contested, a lot of teams uncon. You will realize that we have Shari and Salvatore also trying to land on Peter and Poyo and Sky and Scroll. I don't know who's gonna tell these guys, but like this drop spot right here is probably a top 3 drop spot on the map, and a Middle East team is trying to land there, so we'll see if they commit to it or not. Definitely an interesting decision from them, and there is no like land qualifiers at the global championship, so it's not a thing like Peter and Poyo could try to grief these guys out of qualifying for the actual land finals like we saw at the Summit land. Wherever these guys are marked here is where they're going to be landing at globals. If you guys are curious, the names that haven't yet marked their drop spot, there's only 2 teams left that haven't marked. One of the biggest ones, or probably the biggest one, is Acorn and Bulls, literally the NA FNCS champions. I do want to note though that they have marked at 2 different spots on this map, but now they have just completely taken themselves off. Originally they were marked on Ritual and Cold up here, so interesting. We'll see what ends up happening there. And then the other time they ended up marking themselves just like dead center right here where Cooper and Ree and Nebs and Nathan are both trying to go, but since then they have completely taken themselves off the map. And then the other team that has yet to mark themselves is Ping and Rua right here. These guys are the only other duo that have yet to mark themselves. But just taking a look at this map, which teams have a big advantage? This drop spot, the Battlewoods, is basically the exact same. Aders and Vino and Pixie and Swizzy set up very well for success. 2 duos that placed very highly on their respective regions in the most recent grand finals. Vico and Malibuca are the team that is getting the mountain split up here, the main mountain split, I guess you could say, and then Higgs and Curve are taking the other side. iDrop and Gonzo is getting conned by Lua and Romero. And then if you go over to look at what Shark and Teeny's drop spot situation is looking like now, you can see, yeah, they're definitely not getting this entire area. You already have Cesar's trying to take the top part, Pix and Byron trying to take like the top right, Muzz and Rise trying to take the bottom right, but they're already getting conned by Phasma, and then King and Craze trying to take the bottom part. I'm pretty sure the middle area is the best part, like it has the most fish for metal, so Teeny and Shark will get the metal advantage, and they'll probably get most of the main good loot from this spot. But yeah, there was just no way they were going to get the entire thing. Focus and Thomas HD currently conned by Resigns and Tinka and OCE team. We got Josh and Yamzo versus Q8 over here, and also TD and Jule is over here with Phoenix and Retro, so probably not the greatest drop spot situation for Josh and Yamzo, unfortunately. Something that you will realize though, Clicks and Rapid currently fully uncontested Sanctuary. The cube is no longer there, which is something important to note. And also, neither one of these guys have tweeted out that they are landing at this drop spot in globals yet, but a lot of people are just assuming that they're going to sit here because, like, I mean, do you want them to go con another team somewhere else when they have an uncontested POI? Yes, their POI did get nerfed. It's kind of probably just like a middle of the pack type of POI now because it has no cube. But if you're able to get an uncontested drop spot in globals, I wouldn't really complain too much about that. Huddy and Fishy, it looks like they might have won the battle for now. They're currently getting an unconned Wonkyland. Chino and Pablo are conned by Mac and the Guerra. Blixie and Chap currently fully uncontested. At Golden Grove, Saze and Scary landing right next to them. Shadow and Virgo. There's a potential for like all 4 of these teams to do really well in globals with their drop spot situations. Just looking at this map right here, if you had to make way too early predictions for who you think could actually top 5 in globals, what would you guys say? I think some of my main early favorites is like a Aders and Vino, Vico, Mally, Ritual, and Cold. I mean, Hari and Kami are set up in a very nice position. Teeny and Shark I still think will be able to perform well, even with all the teams that are going to be trying to steal loot around them. I also think for some of the like smaller region teams that are landing around them, those guys are about to be getting keyed by Shark and Teeny every single match. Okay, and then I actually haven't talked about the tournament schedule yet for this season, so I want to do that as well. So this season, instead of divisional cups, they are calling it practice cups. This is the exact same thing that we saw before the global championships last year as well. They're smaller rise pool tournaments, but it's basically the exact same thing. The only difference is this is only going to be a 1-day opens and a 1-day finals type of tournament. So I do have some concerns for the teams that speed run through their tournaments like Shark and Teeny and Peterbot and Poyo, that we might not get to see them in all 4 of these finals. Something else that I know a lot of you guys are wondering if you guys played the actual tournaments. Fortnite Competitive did clarify that this tournament is going to be open to all divisions like Div Cup. So this isn't like a Div 1, Div 2, Div 3, Div 4 type of thing. This is literally just a tournament that every single division can play in, and if you finish top 50, you qualify to the actual finals. And then the other thing interesting that Fortnite Competitive said is someone ended up replying, why is there a month-and-a-half break with no tournaments at the end of the season? Then they responded with, just wait a little longer. And now if we actually go and look at the new season schedule, shout out to Comp Report for this graphic right here, you'll see this is all the EWC stuff. At the time we were recording this video, we are on group 2 right here. Survival stage tomorrow, finals is this day, eval cup on the 23rd. I don't really expect anybody to be playing this because all the NA pros are still going to be here, and then people are just probably going to take a break the next day. But the 25th is when the actual practice cups open start, and then the practice cup finals is on the 29th. There's 0 build tournaments, if you guys care about that, and the next round of the practice cup starts the very next day. Here's the schedule for the entirety of September, basically the same thing every single week. And then you see global on the 26th and the 27th right here, and then we have solo FNCS. Let me zoom in a little bit if you guys can't see it. And then we have solo FNCS starts the day after on the 28th. A lot of people are concerned about this. I'm assuming it's going to be like some qualifier thing for people that weren't in Div 1 to try to be able to make Div 1 so they can compete in solo FNCS. I don't expect Fortnite to assume that all the pros that just played globals to be able to make it to their home setups in one singular day and then queue up for solo FNCS opens the next day. I just don't see that happening. And then here's the October schedule right here. You can see this one is a lot more empty. There's no practice cups. There's no major tournaments. This is where Fortnite says to stay tuned for things to come. And I would have to assume, well, obviously we already know that October is going to be solo FNCS. There's probably going to be a lot of different solo type of tournaments in this between like solo div cups, and then there is still solo victory cups, which is interesting. But I also wouldn't be surprised if we did get some trio cups in this season, if they do announce trios back as well. Let me know what you think about the tournament schedule in the comments below. So yeah, we're mainly waiting on Acorn and Bolts here. I'm very interested to see where they're actually going to end up marking themselves. If they end up doing it within the next couple of days, I'll make sure to update you guys, and I'll just continue to make sure to update you guys on this map in general leading up to the global championships. Remember, subscribe, let us know if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. And we posted 2 videos today, so if you guys want to support me even more, especially when buying the new season's battle pass, do this as under me right here. Please use code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. You can see I was enjoying Winnie Sue videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow the Twitch. We're going to be live for the EWC finals early in the morning. Thank God for another day. Thank you guys all so much for the support, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.